This week, you can buy Indie Game Riot the Omnibus, and waiter, there's too much salt in my sanctuary. And yes, they made a game with zombies in it. Keep that spacesuit on, Xenomorphs. This is episode 92 of the Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot!
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and I am here with the Reverend up there.
Hi guys.
And the Tekido as well.
Hello.
I don't know what a Tekido is. Just call him Taquido because that's actually a thing. So this is episode 92, and we're going to be talking about indie games. Surprise! If you, I mean, I thought I'd throw in a curveball right there with the indie games.
Yeah. Oh, indie games. I don't play indie games. What are indie games?
Indie games. Aren't those things on my tablet?
Yeah, Farmville, right?
Yeah,
Farmville.
Yeah. But first, we're going to be talking about our weeks, and I think I'm most excited about Reverend's story. So we're going to start. We're going to start with that one. Go ahead.
I have a kidney stone. It hurts. Moving on. You like that hype? No. Okay. So true story here. I do have a kidney stone. Or at least it feels exactly like the last kidney stone that I had, and chances are really, really good that it is a kidney stone that I have, but the CT scan is inconclusive. So
they couldn't zap it with a laser.
Well, you can't zap it with the laser unless it's like over a specific size,
Gotcha.
because it defeats the purpose.
And at that point, you're just breaking it up. It's not actually like...
Yeah.
And it's not a laser; it's actually sound waves. Like they stick
that's
backed
terrifying.
up with speakers and like speakers that your kidney.
And they just play dubstep against your kidney.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Mr. Reverend, for your treatment, would you like Skrillex or
Skrillex is the doctor.
Skrillex
actually.
or Dead Mouse?
Skrillex is the doctor.
Dead mouse today.
Yes, he's just like, all right, hold still.
This procedure is called the bangarang.
Wait for the drop. So, anyways, there's been passing interest in when I passing interest in when I will pass the kidney stone. People are like, oh, I hear that's the worst part. And I'm not actually worried about it because the first kidney stone that I had a couple of years ago was kind of an interesting experience. It's the most excruciating pain I have ever felt in my life. Like, I literally thought I was going to die. I wanted to die. And if I punched myself in the kidney, it felt better for about a second because...
You've told us this story. I've heard this story before.
It's kind of a weird thing, though, like when you're hurt or sick or something, like hitting yourself or like hurting yourself more makes it feel better. Isn't that weird?
Makes it feel better for a couple of seconds. Yeah. But like so it hurts all the way from the kidney to the bladder. And then once it hits the bladder, you get like, I call it the pain before the storm, because it's not like it stops hurting. It's no longer excruciating pain, and it's just kind of more of a subtle I hate you pain. And then it's supposed to get excruciating again. Except in my first kidney stone, it wasn't excruciating on the second side of that, where it's actually coming out your urethra, because it dropped into the bladder region of my body, and the relief that I felt after having this excruciating pain for a week and a half was so great that I got an erection and decided I was going to masturbate. Because it's there. I've got a boner. What else am I going to do with it?
Well, I might as well. Good job, me.
You're feeling better.
Congratulations.
Like, what do you do when you're feeling better after?
It felt so good to not hurt so bad that like the first reaction was, I have a non-pain boner.
Hot dog.
So exactly. So I started jerking off. And then I orgasmed, and in the ejaculate was the kidney stone. It was like, got the tissue there. It was like, ooh, that's
Oh, great.
chunky.
Episode 92, the TMI episode.
Yeah. Really.
But-
So, but it didn't hurt at all. It was just like, oh, I'm masturbating and this feels good, and then it was like, oh, I'm orgasming and this feels good, and that's a kidney stone. And the thing was huge.
and also,
like, it was this big. And
Oh.
like just
also
jizzed it out.
just remember
Oh.
for the folks at home who didn't see Rev move his hands for that demonstration.
For the imagery, yeah.
Because he was
Let me-
double-handed, and if you are going to jerk it, you want to make it two, because
Why not? And to explain to people who have not experienced this, or women in particular, because I've known someone else who's had a kidney stone, and they said even worse than the kidney pain was passing it, and that's because the urethra is sensitive in not a good way. It's just extremely, like, anything touches it other than what's supposed to touch it, it's like you're on fire. And so in that case, imagine that with a crystallized rock just
Oh, God.
that's too
with
big,
sharp
that's
edges,
scraping
and,
the whole
like,
way through.
spurs and
Yeah.
like mine, like you know that you
That's-
know that picture.
I'm terrified of kidney stones.
Don't get one. See, the problem with getting kidney stones though is that like there's a list of approved foods and fruits, like vegetables and fruits and their associated juices that you can ingest on a regular basis to minimize your chance of kidney stones. And then there's an even longer list of foods and fruits and vegetables that their associated juices that contribute to kidney stones. And every item that is in the minimizing the risk column also appears in the contribute column. So it's like, yes, cranberry juice can help minimize and can help with kidney stones. It'll also help make kidney stones. And it's like, so basically you're just...
Are you alive?
It's like you're playing marbles. So what will actually happen? It creates another kidney stone and just pings the other one out.
Oh, don't joke about
Oh
that.
my God.
Pain pills for another kidney.
Well,
In my quest to hopefully never have a kidney stone, Jesse and I learned a new recipe yesterday, and now we make our own tortillas. Because why go down to the store and buy a crappy $4 pack of gross, hydrogenated oil, sugar tortillas when you can spend 30 minutes and make the best goddamn tortillas you've ever had? I know it sounds
you are
no, for real.
You are a pretentious bitch.
No, I'm broke. And when you're broke, you find.
Oh no, I
you
understand
find
that.
loopholes.
I understand that. We've made our own bread, which actually came out
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Our own hamburger buns we made, and we just make stuff from scratch because I have like one of those Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks. So
I mean, the internet, man. The internet
That
has
too.
everything.
yeah, but the internet, like all things on the internet, you have to do your research. Cause like yeah, this is the best one ever. This came out like shit. What are you talking about?
To be fair, like one of the most popular recipe websites on the internet has a recipe for ice cubes.
Good.
Hey, I mean, if you're a college kid and you're just getting out on your own,
And you don't know how to make ice cubes?
you need something to put into that bottle of something that upper
bottle
class
of PBR.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man, but this PBR has like ice crystals in it. It's like, oh no, man, put like 4 ice cubes in there, you'll be able to deal with it better.
I don't know.
You're
I
right.
don't have that big of a issue with PBR.
I don't. It's just the easy one to make fun. Oh, well, you can't call it Budweiser anymore because it's now called America. Did you hear about that?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's only a thing for
Yeah,
the
it's
summer.
still dumb.
It makes no sense.
No.
A foreign company naming their beer America.
Is Budweiser
Hey.
foreign?
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch is foreign?
Busch, B-U-S-C-H? That sounds kind of German to me.
Well, it doesn't mean it's
Where
a
they're
German
based.
company.
I'm
My
pretty
my,
sure
my
there
last
were a
name's
bunch
my
of
last
Germans.
name's Dutch, and it as in
And
German,
are
and it's
you
not.
not Dutch?
No, they're based out of DC.
There you
They
go.
may be based out of there, but
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
I don't know about that.
Josh, what did you do this week?
Absolutely nothing. No, it's
Cool.
it's really just been.
here you
busy
go.
and stuff like
What's that from their website? Budweiser's an American style
looking
produced
this up.
by a Belgian
Rub
multinational
it. It's
corporation.
gonna take another 10 minutes.
I know what I'm talking about.
What? No one listened. Okay.
I'm right and you're wrong. How was your week?
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot. It's just been pretty busy and working for IRX, which we'll remind you about later, or working not for, but to get it done. More people and stuff like that, as well as a secret little project that if you were here before the show started, you might have heard just a little sneak peek about. But we're keeping it on DL for now.
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't hear about it.
we're
It's
not
so
at the
DL,
point.
I don't know.
You're not on a need to know basis. Actually,
Yeah.
we'd bring you in, but you're too busy. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Excuse me.
No, sorry.
Anyway,
I forgive you.
yeah, I had a pretty boring week. Actually, I'm thinking.
Oh,
There's actually a voiceover thing that I'm trying to do.
Cool.
That might get me a chance to meet a casting director. I believe she's in New York at Edge Studios. So
Oh, cool.
cross
sweet.
fingers.
Good luck.
Good luck for that. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what else we should have good luck with, and I think Rev needs one of these badly.
Yeah, really.
Is an indie news injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an indie news injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
This week on Indie News Injection, first off, this is going to happen all the way through July 15th, anyway. All the way through July 15th. Indie Revolution Expo. Just a reminder, applications or registration forms are open. Get your games in, all your games or just one game, whatever you want. Get your games in, sign them up. It's free publicity. You get the network. It's a ton of fun, and it's just good. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win situation for everyone.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins. Which
lot of
one
wins.
does each one correlate to?
Charlie Sheen actually is very jealous.
It sucks to be him.
Also,
And if you knew about it, let me tell you, he'd totally jizz a kidney stone. So,
just no one touch it because anyway. Too soon. There's yeah, God.
Sorry.
There's also forums for panels. So we have already got a bunch of really cool panels, but there's still room for more. So please sign up your panels. We can make it very diverse and interesting for everyone. And I heard, someone contacted me about the game jam because I thought no one was interested. I was like, oh well, it's a bust. Try again next time. But someone contacted me about it, so we might be getting submissions. So there is that.
cool.
I got in contact with Game Jolt too. And they expressed interest in getting involved. So maybe that'll happen.
Oh, yeah. Then maybe the more people will actually hear about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is Indie Revolution Expo. You have until June 17th to fill out forms and get them in. And then, of course, it starts a month after that in July, on July 15th.
And you know, even if your game is in early access, you can totally submit it.
Yeah, but you know what else
Totally.
you can
It's
submit
not
your game
done.
to?
You can also submit your game if you want to do early access.
Shit,
to...
hold on. Wait,
Okay.
I always do this.
You always do it. You start out a little slow.
That's the Indie Revolution Expo logo.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Admire its coolness.
I can't see it yet.
Admire
there
its
it is.
coolness. And now go ahead.
So Itch.io, which has been a great source for people to get their games out, is releasing a new tool set called Itch.io Refinery, which is basically the answer to all of Steam's early access problems, or so some say. It gives them the option. It gives them similar options to what Steam gives the early access crowd on their platform, but also lets you control the scale of your release. So you can control how many people can. You can control how many keys you give out for free. You can control how if I'm reading this correctly, how many people you can actually have pre-purchase the game for beta, and that also gives them the ability to see updates and have an update schedule on hand and built into that. But you don't have to worry about creating a super narrative game and 1 million people buy it for $1 on early access. Everyone plays it, everybody streams it, and then when the game comes out, nobody cares.
Yeah.
You also have tiered purchasing, which is something that I think is a really good idea, because it allows that the prime focus of early access is to be able to get funds for the game, and being able to do a tiered purchase allows you to do rewards. So it's basically a cross between
cool idea.
early access and Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So you can configure certain things to unlock its specific price point. So I want this character to only unlock if people pay $15, or I want this DLC to be available if they pay $20.
Yeah,
really cool.
And it all has future Steam support is an option there as well. So you're not just playing on an itch.io. You can actually get a Steam playable version for it. Yeah,
I like that they do that because it's realistic that to know that even though Steam has the early access issue, that everyone pretty much uses Steam.
And what else is really cool about this is that built in is its own forum for the game.
itch.io has really...
So the people who backed it can go to the forum and be like, "Hey, here's a bug," or "Hey, this is an idea that I have."
Well, I think they're pretty much
can
coming out with like their
this?
own community page, not just the forum, but like its own like little just
dedicated to the game.
It's like it's kind of like how Steam has it actually. I mean, because Steam has forums too, but it seems like it's a little bit more intuitive.
Steam's forums. I don't know.
The itch.io page seems a little bit more intuitive for the game.
Yeah.
But man, itch.io seems like they've really just kind of exploded over this, starting in 2016 with a bunch of really cool features.
Right.
One other thing too is that right now, only Overland has been available, and it's only been given out to 500 people on itch.io since it started. However,
and future games, you've got Ginny LeClue, which I think we talked about at some point.
Yes.
Yep.
Manifold Garden, Hackmud, and Goner. Hackmud. Sorry. I was reading too much into that. Yeah, you're right. But those are the only games that are currently on there, at least that they're advertising.
Yes. Something's up with the internet, by the way, or Skype or something, because it's like freezing.
I'm having
out.
those issues too. But enough about...
Is the global internet going down? Is that what's happening?
Maybe.
All right, anyway. Sorry for any weird choppiness in advance. It's not us, it's the internet.
It's the interwebs.
There you go. And
adjust your TV sets.
So the next thing, Rev.
Omnibus.
Segways.
Yeah, Segways. Speaking of, apparently those are illegal in some cities.
Did you know the CEO of Segway died by falling off a cliff on a Segway?
Yeah, that is the most entertaining coincidence I have ever encountered.
Wasn't that recent?
No, that was like a decade ago.
Oh, okay. I guess people are just talking about it more now.
Well, that's because people are now dying on the douche boards.
But you know what you can also do?
Instead of riding
Omnibus.
a Segway, you can.
Instead of riding a Segway, you can ride a bus. Wow, that was actually a good one once we got there. Devolver Digital has announced that they're going to do a very special edition of the bus physics game Omnibus. And it is the one-of-a-kind Omnibus Ultimate Edition, and it's going to cost you $7,500. And I'm interested to know who buys it, and if it's that Martin Shkreli fuck, I'm going to stab somebody.
So he can round up all the AIDS patients. That's what he wants to do with it.
Yeah, something like that. I was thinking more the Wu-Tang CD album.
The guy from Wu-Tang Clan doesn't even want him to have that.
Yeah, but he
hates
bought
that guy.
Yeah, everybody hates that guy.
Yeah, except for himself.
Even rich people Anyways, it includes the game, the original soundtrack, and an actual MCI bus that, quote, may or may not have been used to motion capture lifelike bus movement for the game, end quote. You do have to if you buy it, you do have to pick it up from where it's stored somewhere in North America.
I will say that
You have to find it.
$7,500 is really cheap for a bus.
Yeah, but that thing's probably fucked up. Although, imagine this. We can travel in style to conventions.
Yeah, we can just turn it into a
Paint it
camper.
with Indie Game Riot.
Fuck yeah, that'd be great. So if any philanthropic individual is ever so inclined to donate to donate either the money or the bus,
There you go.
we will gladly accept. We'll put your name on the back of it and be like, sponsored by this dude, produced by that dude, whatever.
And very tiny.
We'll open up a Patreon page. It'll be a complete failure.
So a little bit about Omnibus for those that aren't aware. Basically, you're the person in control of an out-of-control bus. So it's basically Speed, the video game.
But you're
But good.
super.
Yeah.
Basically, you're a superhero bus.
Sorry, what?
You're basically a superhero bus. You know, they ask you to do stuff and you do it. There are missions and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So yeah,
a weird analogy.
if you do want to buy the game without the bus, if the $7,500 price tag is a bit much for you, you can purchase it on their website, which is omnibusgame.com.
There you go.
Yeah, and that is $9.99 currently, $8.99. But you can also, I think there's a demo too that you can play if you like it. So
Yeah, I think there's
you want to see if you like it.
Free version, yeah.
Yeah.
So discussion point for today, very random because we just came up with it on the spot. It is indie games and esports. First of all, should that be a thing, or is that strictly a Call of Duty sports games and like MOBAs?
I think so. So do you remember back in the day when there were like 2 or 3 different franchises for each sport? This was back
Yes.
like during
Before
the
EA
PS
bought them all.
Yeah, before
yeah.
EA and Madden were just like, yeah, we have all the
it's
rights to all
basically-
the sports
well,
now.
Before it used to be EA had all the sports, and now they lost a bunch of licenses, and now 2K actually has like half of them.
Well,
EA
I
has
remember-
some, and ESPN even had one at one point for some reason.
Yeah. So like I guess the thing is Rocket League was great and everybody loves it, and it's a sport indie game. You know, soccer / now also hockey and basketball.
And they are doing esports with that.
Is there an appeal for other like mainstream sports that aren't the exact? Because I know you had like the only other sports games that I'm thinking of are like the Backyard series of games with like Backyard Soccer and Backyard Baseball and
I
stuff.
think that was actually a 2K thing. But I mean, even other than sports, because I mean, Rocket League is probably the closest thing because it's like soccer with cars and actually basketball as well now, since they have that functionality. Yeah. But there's, I mean, when you think of right now what esports there are in AAA, there's first-person shooters, so like Call of Duty type stuff.
Okay.
There are the sports games, and there are.
Oh, we're talking about esports, not just
sports
games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I came in this all wrong.
Okay. That's what she said.
Yes.
I'm a little tired.
So, anyway, so there's first-person shooters, there's sports games, there's MOBAs, and then there's like CCGs, like card games.
Why can't
like
there be
Hearthstone.
more? Why can't there be more?
I'm not saying there can't be, but that's what there is.
You know what
Right.
I think it is too?
And
is
RTS. Like
the-
let's not
the infrastructure is really the biggest thing.
Well, I mean, Riot, who owns like the League of Legends stuff, obviously, Activision now owns Major League Gaming. I mean, it's up to them. But Rocket League and now I think Speedrunners was trying to get into that. I don't know if they actually did, but I know they were trying to get in esports. So yeah, obviously you have to think of multiplayer competitive stuff. Rocket League I could definitely see.
Well, Rocket League is. You can win thousands of dollars being good at
But
Rocket
I'm just saying,
League.
like, I can imagine, like, it's not like a stretch for me. Speedrunners is competitive, but it's only 4 people at a time, so it'd have to be like tournament mode. Like, I mean, it's all tournament, but I think it'd be a different format. But is there enough?
No, it's no different. It's no different than StarCraft tournaments. I mean, they have 1v1 ladders for the StarCraft
I don't know
esports.
shit about StarCraft.
Well,
I mean, I love RTS,
okay,
but I never got into it.
StarCraft kind of invented the whole esports phenomenon. Like that was the genesis of it all. It all traces back to StarCraft tournaments. And yeah, you do your team battles, your 4v4s and your 2v2s, but you also have your 1v1s. So anything that can do any permutation thereof, I see no reason why it couldn't. So, I'm hard pressed to think of one that would do well as an esport.
Right.
So here's another question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, to finish my thought.
Okay, sorry.
That's what I was saying about speedrunners. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but would it hold someone's interest or people even wanting to do it? I mean, I guess there would always be someone to do it, but people skilled enough who are playing other stuff to do it. Because I mean, when you look at speedrunners, how many levels are there to play? How much variance is there to keep it interesting? You know what I mean? So
right. So I think you sort of mentioned it, skill. I think that a lot of these esports hinge on having a point where you have to be a certain level of skill, and that has to be interesting. And I'm wondering where either of you draw the line with like awesome games done quick, and all the people who take games and speed run games and go absolutely insane. Like, is
that a competitive thing, or is that just like, hey, look, I did it?
It's not.
It can be.
It isn't like really competitive, but it is kind of competitive. Like the community around it is, obviously there are a lot of people who are like really into it. But I'm wondering if a format like that, because you have team-based skill games like Counter-Strike and Dirty Bomb and Call of Duty and all those things, which aren't really esports.
Counter-Strike is, and Call of Duty is.
No, Counter-Strike is, but Call of Duty is it?
Yeah.
Is Call of Duty really?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
That's its own question.
I haven't anyway. But like I'm wondering if there's a way to create that sport within, like, without necessarily having to have the infrastructure of, servers and netcode and anti-cheat and all of this.
Say that wasn't a problem and like Activision picked them up for Major League Gaming.
Ooh, I don't know in that case.
I mean, the companies themselves hold their own tournaments, right? But then there's like the Major League Gaming, right? So that's the whole like association where they play Call of Duty, they play Counter-Strike, they play that sort of stuff. So in like Hearthstone, for instance, huge competitively, but they work their own stuff. I don't think Major League Gaming actually.
I thought that I thought Valve took care of all their things separately too.
Or maybe they do. I
think they do. I don't feel like you hear about Major League Gaming.
I know for a fact Call of Duty is. I mean, that's Activision right there. That would be their game.
But I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't hear about it. I feel like at this point in the game, you'd have to create your own community, because there are tons of like Overwatch just came out, and it's not an indie game. It's the hero shooter by Blizzard. But everyone's like itching for a competitive. Like, I want to do competitive. I want to test my skills against all these other people. And so like the desire is there.
Well, they calm their tits a little bit because it just came out. People have to get good first.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But so here's another question, just to move it on.
Okay.
What indie games? I mean, we mentioned Rocket League, we mentioned Speedrunners. Right. What other indie games do you think would do well in a competitive, like, money on the line kind of format?
Arc.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Two teams,
by the way, well,
two
they
teams,
have
same map.
They have a free PvP Arc thing, like a separate game altogether. But a lot of people hate it.
Well, like,
what was that game that we kind of talked about? Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was the Hunger Games, the video game.
Oh, The Culling.
The Culling, yeah. That I could see that being.
Yeah.
I can totally see that being.
Yeah.
Well, like
valid... also like Minecraft's. I know it's not an indie game, but when it was an indie game, it was still getting really popular for the ultra hardcore, which came into being, which is like no health regen. You're on your own or you're in a team, and you have to be the last one alive.
Oh, that was the Minecraft Hunger Games thing.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. It was before all the Hunger Games mods and stuff, but like I feel like there could be a desire for a team like a team based sandbox survival / kill all your friends, but at the same time, like you have H1Z1, which kind of did that. You have you can go on any of those Minecraft servers and do that. You can. I
just realized like a whole genre we left out: AAA and indie. Fighting games.
That's true.
People competitively play Tekken,
but do people
Street Fighter or whatever.
But do people care anymore? Because that's really
Smash Brothers.
I feel like that's really niche. Smash Brothers isn't niche, but
people do care. I mean, I've seen stories like, and there's a huge community around fighting games, especially classic ones.
Rising Thunder would be a fantastic game for that.
So, because I'm just thinking, like, now with indie games, when you're thinking of all the multiplayer stuff that is competitive, a lot of it's arena brawler kind of stuff, like Smash Brothers, or a combination of that and like maybe sports, like sports ball. Is that like that?
What about
there are some out there. I mean, at IndieCade this past year, Rising Thunder, like I just mentioned,
mm-hmm.
they're a 1v1 fighting game along the line by people that were involved in some of the best fighting games in history.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still out there, and I think to answer Tech's original question, there has to be some level of actual competition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In game.
Definitely.
In order for it to classify for me as an esport. Like you can't do a speed run of Axiom Verge in a tournament setting. Like that just doesn't work for me in my mind. It has to actually have some level of me versus you.
Yeah.
And just which one of us can run through faster.
I agree.
You know what? Sorry, I just stepped away for a second. You know what would be a really good game, or idea for a really competitive game?
What's that?
Naval Action. Have you heard about this game?
Yes.
Is this an game?
Guns of Icarus.
Guns of Icarus, totally. I love. One, yeah. Well, Guns of Icarus would be a great one. Oh man, team ship combat. I totally think if the Guns of Icarus devs were like, yeah, we can totally make a semi-competitive or a competitive scene for that, I would love that, because that game requires a lot of skill and a lot of coordination, and that would be really interesting to watch.
And that's, I mean, not that there's not coordination in the other stuff, because I mean, there's like different roles that play.
Yeah,
like, you know, there's like the healer, the tank, whatever, stuff like that. Or in like Call of Duty, there's like support, there's sniper, there's assault, or whatever. But it in my mind, it'd be a lot more interesting to watch those sort of stuff like Guns of Icarus, where it's not, you know, just you and a group of people shooting with like slightly different skills.
Have, like,
there's like straight out like different roles.
What about due process stuff?
Due process has to. They have to.
Stuff like that. Where
due process would be such a cool competitive game.
But I mean, but I'm saying like Guns of Icarus, where there's a guy that's specifically for just moving the ship around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's people that are specifically for repairing.
So when I played Guns of Icarus a lot with my group of friends who would play it, you would basically have zones and the captain would like call out, and other gunners would call out and be like, oh yeah, starboard, okay, I'm moving port, we're going high, or this is happening, that's happening, because there's so much going on. That would be so cool to like watch a team
see in a tournament format. Yeah.
And,
or what about air for versus small teams? What about Air Brawl?
Air Brawl could totally. Oh, and that would be really cool.
A flight simulator ish. I mean, it's basically the what was that Xbox game?
If people want to play competitive Overwatch, which I personally
it will eventually.
I think it's kind of a joke to do that, because I don't think that game really would do well in a competitive scene.
They're gonna do it eventually.
Well, no, they will, and it'll make people tons of money. But it's sort of like playing Team Fortress 2 competitively. I can't take it seriously. I really, and I'm sorry, and I know that people are gonna be like, you're just an elitist faggot, and I'm like, yeah, I'm an elitist asshole. Like that's yeah, but like I feel like there are games that could actually be really interesting, and there could be a lot of games that people think are really interesting and then just not do well.
Well, if you are a multiplayer competitive game out there that are indie, let us know what you think. Would you like to go esports? Would you like to have tournaments? Tell us. Email us. Yeah. contact@indiegameride.com.
You know what else? Facts. The police. Because
we're starting a riot.
And back-to-back segues. This week on Starting the Riot, we have a game for those Dark Souls fans out there, which is not me, but this game actually looks pretty cool. It is called Salt and Sanctuary by Ska Studios. And I want to know, do they actually make ska music? Do you even like ska music?
They did make a song for these are, so before we get into the game, I guess I kind of just want to mention how this made sense in my intro. These are the guys who in 2009 made the game I Made a Game with Zombies on the Xbox 360, and it was great and everybody loved it. And now they've had a few other games since then, but like I can't believe they're still doing stuff.
Well, anyway, Salt and Sanctuary has been proclaimed by many, especially within the media, that it is like a 2D Dark Souls. Yeah. Very difficult and kind of has the same RPG-ish elements to it and all that sort of stuff. Basically, you're a sailor shipwrecked on an uncharted island, and it has like monsters and beasties and all that sort of stuff on it that you obviously have to fight through. And it's really fast and really smooth combat and stuff like that with, like I said, the RPG mechanics. You can also find and craft and upgrade. It says over 600 weapons, armor pieces, spells, and items while you're going through the game. And I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure with the story if it's going to be very like implied like Dark Souls is. But
from what I've seen of it, it's a bit. There's a.
It seems more direct.
Yeah, it's a bit more. Not. It's not going to force feed you it, but it is more present.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that really caught my eye about this game is the scale of enemies, sort of like Dark Souls. Because you'll fight normal sized things, and then later on they start to get a little bigger, and then they're freaking huge.
Yeah.
Like
like Dark Souls is the boss monsters,
I feel like this has potential to be this era's Metroid games.
I could see that.
Because
so you mean like it's like a new popular genre that's going to be taking over in indies, like kind of like how Metroidvanias or like the top-down isometrics and.
But also like, I bet you that if that genre takes off as much as it does, people are going to look back and be like, this is one of the ones that like brought it in to more of a spotlight. Because yes, we have Dark Souls, and everybody plays Dark Souls. Rev plays Dark Souls.
I'm playing Dark Souls 3 right now.
I don't play Dark Souls. I actually don't.
I don't
like
either.
the game.
But like I feel like it has the charm that those games had, but it makes it more modern. Not Dark Souls, Metroidvania style games. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, that could be like where all these people who've been playing these Metroid and Castlevania games, like the old ones, might be able to like pick this up and have a really good time and have like a different experience, but it'll also challenge a lot of people. And I think that's one thing that like those that we're missing in a lot of games. Like there aren't very many extremely punishing, challenging games, and I'm excited. I'm not big into them, but I'm glad that people make them.
The only thing that's holding me back from this is the fact that they haven't released it yet on Steam. It's currently only available on PS4.
It's on Steam.
And Vita.
Did they? Because
is it?
It was, yeah. It's you can buy it right now for $16.19. It's 10% off. Normally $17.99.
Yes, it is.
It is
they
only
don't have
for
it on their site.
It is only
really
for Windows.
They really don't want you to buy that version on their site.
They are heavily promoting the PS4 version for some reason, but it is available on Steam. It was actually released 3 days ago on the 17th.
In that case, does somebody want to buy it for me real quick?
There you go, $18. All right, well right now $16.19.
You want me to you want me to blow your mind right now?
Huh?
Co-op.
There you go.
Oh fuck yeah!
Co-op. You can use the same keyboard.
The art in this is really cool, by the way. I'm not a huge fan of like the character himself, but the monsters and the animations are super cool.
Keyboard does not work. Sorry, I read the update wrong.
But like I said, it is only for Windows, so screw you, Mac and Linux. But it's I don't know. If you're into the Dark Souls thing, this is for you.
We haven't asked this question in a long time.
94% approval rating.
Wow. Looking at this gameplay footage, can you tell what's going on because you can't see color? I mean, I know there isn't a whole lot of color, but like I'm wondering if it's actually hard to see.
That does look kind of rough. It's a lot of gray on gray.
No, I'm generally okay.
Or is
I'm
this
not seeing any...
just Rev Life Simulator the game? At least in the section that we're showing right now.
The section that we're showing right now, I don't see anything that jumps out as being a problem. I guess maybe if there was a little bit more going on screen, or at least the part that I'm seeing at this point
on the stream. Yeah. Okay. So if you have color problems, maybe you'll be fine. But it seems very dark. They've packed a whole lot of atmosphere in a 2D game,
which is awesome. Yeah,
it has enough. It has so much depth that you don't really worry about it.
Inventoria mentioned
somebody buy this for me.
Inventoria mentioned that that it's not a Dark Souls knockoff. And that's true. They from everything I've been reading and everything I've been seeing, it seems like that they took the Dark Souls formula as inspiration, but they really put their own twist and mechanics and inspiration into their own ideas into it and made it their own game. So if you're afraid that like just because it's being compared to Dark Souls, because people, I think I talked to Tim Donnelly about this. One of his friends made a game and he compared it to something popular, and it got ripped apart for it because it wasn't. At least it was a good game, but not like that. Don't take this as it's Dark Souls. It's not. It's just they
Dark Souls is one of those common games that we can bring in with similar elements and be like, it's sort of like this, but that.
It's like the comparison. It's like the comparison between Terraria and Minecraft.
Yeah. They're both games where you mine and you craft things, but
they're similar in their mechanical base, but they're completely different.
Yeah.
That's
actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
In this case, Dark Souls is Minecraft and Salt and Sanctuary is Terraria.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Dark Souls is Minecraft. You heard it here first on Indie Game Riot. Anyone else? Well, first of all, does anyone else have anything to say about Salt and Sanctuary?
I played on the Vita, and I think that this would be a great game to play on the go. Seriously,
I gotta say, Okay, sorry, I thought you were done. Keep going.
Oh, you know, no, I'm done.
Shut
Now.
your
Oh,
mouth.
okay.
Now.
All right. Go ahead.
Shush then. I gotta say, I'm impressed that the 3 people involved in this put forward a game that was this good, and
Well,
they do
they've been
apparently
making
do
games
all
for a
their own.
while.
They also apparently do all their own music.
That too. Yeah.
That's
Well,
great.
you know who else does their own music?
Oh, the DJs downtown.
At the Peep Show.
Chicken brown cow.
Yeah, so that's actually DJ Brown Cow.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
And this week on Peep Show, we have a game called Unfortunate Spacemen. What is Unfortunate Spacemen? Well, I'm going to tell you, because that's the question that you just asked, obviously, because I can hear you. I can hear your thoughts through the internet and also from the past.
That's magical.
that kind of got away from you a bit, didn't
Unfortunate, a little bit. Unfortunate Spacemen is a game where you and all your friends on a multiplayer server have a map with a bunch of objectives that you have to complete and some collectibles like oxygen tanks and stuff. And basically, you're trying to get samples and send them back to Earth or wherever you're sending them, and also repair things and activate generators. And you have to work together to basically not die on this little place that you're calling home for the moment in space. And also, one of your friends is a bloodthirsty monster that looks like one of your friends. And you don't know who it is, and you're trying to make sure that they don't kill you. You can also find weapons to possibly stop it, but that's not really necessarily likely. And you can play with up to 32 of your friends. 31.
If you have 30.
Yeah,
So
if you have
friends.
32 friends.
There was an interesting. Hold on, I gotta go find it now. But first of all, there's actually different things that you're supposed to do because you're technically stranded there and you're supposed to get rescued. You're waiting for rescue, but because you're such good employees, according to the devs, that you decide to like shoot off some like priceless stuff into space so that the company can pick it up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and you also have to worry about power outages, and you can like lock doors behind people, so you can like lock people out.
You can activate
out of space.
You can activate airlocks, like so that way if someone passes by it, they get sucked out into space and they die.
On top of that, as the monster, you can only stay disguised for so long until you have to go into your non-monster form again and recharge that ability. So you can't always be around people. But as the monster, it is most definitely an asymmetrical sort of game here where you will just fuck shit up. You're a huge monster that's like 3 people tall, and there aren't a whole lot of weapons out there just yet. Mind you, this game is in alpha, so it's a little
Choppy.
It's a little choppy. It's a little rough, but considering that they have all of the base mechanics there and a few, I think they have I can't remember how many maps they have already, but they have like a few maps. They're going to be shipping with more, and all the objectives are random.
You know,
So.
I get a vibe of you remember that awesome movie from the early 80s called The Thing?
Yeah, that's why I was mentioning before that this reminds me of like Towns of Salem mixed with The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except it's more fun than Towns of Salem because you don't know. You just don't know what could happen. I don't know. Are you a monster? No. Am I a monster? No. Okay, cool. We're friends. Then you walk 6 feet, and yeah, you're dead. Claw back of the head.
So I'm
Alien
looking
food.
at different reviews because these kinds of games are always kind of funny, like 'cause, like different situations and things happen to people, creates
Right.
interesting stories. There was one I was trying to find, but I can't find it yet. But there's another one here. So the review says, team up with 2 other spacemen. We start searching rooms. While in a small room, one of them turns into the alien. He starts eating the other spaceman. Spaceman is yelling to help is yelling for me to help him. We both run to the door. I get there first, lock door behind me, trapping the monster and spaceman inside. Report monster's location to others, then nope the fuck out of there. 10 out of 10 will betray teammate and feed him to the monster again.
Remember, kids,
and
you don't have to run.
Yeah.
You don't have to run faster than the alien monster. You just have to run faster than everybody else.
And on top of that, the atmosphere that they're putting forward is
here's
very creepy.
Okay, I found the other one.
Very, very creepy. Okay.
I thought this was funny. Join a match. Everyone working together, walking in groups of 3, covering each other. This is boring. Begin to incite lies. Slowly but surely, everyone gets suspicious. Toss a stun grenade into a room with 4 people. They shoot wildly. 2 of them die. Slowly, everyone begins to blame people not in their groups. Groups begin to shoot at each other. Devolves into every man for themselves. Everyone shooting each other on sight. I get sucked out into an airlock trap and die. Last 2 players kill each other with a grenade. Monster wins. Monster was AFK the entire match.
But that's like these games. If the game, so each game, like any game, has a set amount of fun that's pre-coded into the game. In this case, it's make sure that you're on a full server and you have teams and you do all the objectives and everything will be fine. But like Minecraft or other sandbox games, this isn't a sandbox game, but other games now, if you can make your own fun in the game opens up, and all of a sudden you can play. The rules of the game kind of matter, but if you have a group of friends in the game that know your own set of rules, you could totally do that.
One last one.
Okay.
Got into multiplayer game. Was told to go to the lunchroom to gather up. Some person told us to burn everyone alive to kill the monster and win the game. Gunfight broke out. Ran out the door, locked it behind me. Found Tan Spaceman. Hid in lavatory with him from other spacemen. Tan Spaceman locked the lavatory door. Turned into an alien and ate me next to the toilet. Went to heaven to see my buddies who died in the lunchroom. 10 out of 10 would let Tan Alien eat me in the bathroom again. So,
you have to try.
These kinds of games
For
create
15
interesting
bucks.
stories.
Yeah. Yeah. $15 on Steam right now. Again, early access, so it comes with all of the problems that early access games come with. But considering that it's already playable and you can play a game with your friends or online with other people, that's pretty great.
I'm sure they'll open up like new maps and stuff like that, and probably new mechanics and things. Because it was only released as an early access game on the 6th of this month, May 6th. So it's got plenty of ways to go, but it seems like it's already a ton of fun, especially if you like screwing people over, particularly.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're the monster, I don't know if you mentioned this because I was looking at stuff, but if you are the monster, you can only stay in disguise as a spaceman for a certain amount of time. So you have to make sure you either are alone with someone and you're going to eat them, or you got to get away, find an excuse to get away. Like the one gameplay I was watching, the guy who ended up being a monster was like, "Hey man, I'm going to go get the other thing out.
I'm going to go grab a battery real quick."
Right.
Yeah, or like in the gameplay that you just watched, everybody started shooting everybody, and he's like, "I'm out of here, don't kill me." Yeah. And then he was actually the monster.
Exactly. So, anyway, that is Unfortunate Spaceman. Go buy it. Maybe we can all play it someday if we all get the game.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah,
and we could even play it if I can convince them to join IRX. Maybe we can play it during IRX.
Yeah, definitely.
Thinking about maybe adding some gameplay into that.
You know what? Everybody can play without having to spend a cent.
Their dick.
The next game that we're talking about on Free
Dick
Fun.
Bullets.
Free Fun.
Which is not the game we're talking about.
And this week on Indie Game Riot's Free Fun, we have the Maitre D. Sorry, I'm horrible with accents. The Maitre D is a fancy French restaurant, and your job is to get the lazy fucking patrons the best service possible by getting them to their table, their chair. And you do this by kind of puzzle platformy solving. You pick them up, put them on your head and walk over to their chair.
I wish this is how restaurants actually worked.
Right? I just have this vision of like this host is walking over, like picking you up, setting you on your head, and walking over to the table. But it gets a little bit interesting because one of the skills that this maitre d' has is the ability to extend his body, kind of like a full body boner, but you can adjust it and
Put that on a shirt.
Sort of.
I adjust
snake
boners
around.
all the time.
But no, it's kind of interesting that one of the mechanics that they do to make it a little bit more complicated is that each vial of lotion that you find in each level gives you 1 square's worth of body shifting around. And so, you might not be able to get somewhere without, angling yourself up and to the left, and then you jump and hook your head on the ledge and then pull your body up. And
I also wish restaurants had spike pits.
Right, that would be entertaining as well. But no, all in all, it's a fun, quick little game. The soundtrack is kind of repetitive, and it's not annoying, but its repetitive nature makes it less enjoyable. I thoroughly enjoy the French accented guy that's like, "Oh, ça va," when you get to the doorway at each level. It whatever he says, and it randomizes. I think I've heard 3 or 4. But it's kind of entertaining. So all in all, check it out. It's a really quick one. It's done by C-Dads, which is the Power Hoof and his team from a Game Jam. Louis Meyer, Adrian Vaughn, Paul Del Pazzo, John Murphy, Dave Lloyd, and Barney Cumming. And they did it in 72 hours for Ludum Dare 35 Shapeshifter.
There you go.
It's fun.
But
Check it out.
I mean, you're talking about a Game Jam game, so I mean, how much music could they have really done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs at least a 6-hour soundtrack.
And I'll be completely honest. This game's great fun, but my brain doesn't work.
I
in
forgot.
the same ways
I forgot when you die, it goes uncouth.
Yeah. Yep.
So the maitre d' on Itch.io. I think it's fun personally. I think it's a lot of fun puzzle kind of game. An interesting concept, and I wish this was a real thing personally. Hours of entertainment in real life if it was.
Extendo waiters.
Oh yeah, like Stretch Armstrong, but waiters.
Anything else you want to talk about the maitre d' for?
No, go check it out.
Yeah, Itch.io.
All right. Well, you know what else is itchy? Oh.
What? That's a bad segue. Are you about to tell us you have an STD? Does it burn when you pee?
Does it burn when you pee?
Not at the moment. Which is probably a good thing.
We're gonna end this show right now because this has been a weird show. This is a weird.
It has been. It's been. This has been one of the weirder shows.
This is the end of the show. If you would like to help us reach our goals and make us or help us grow as a show and as a website, and as well as IRX, Indie Revolution Expo, go sign up. Please consider going to patreon.com/IndieGameRiot and helping us there with $1 or more. It all helps and goes right into the show. You can check out all the goals that we have, as well as get rewards for your patronage there. Some other ways you can help. You can also contact us. First of all, every Friday evening, usually at 9:30, even though we actually started later today due to scheduling things, but usually 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. 9:30 p.m. that is, on hitbox.tv/JoshandYa. You can talk to us right in the chat. You can also go on Twitter at IGR Podcast or Facebook.com/IGR Podcast, as well as email contact@IndieGameRiot.com. All this and more is on
the subreddit.
No.
Which still exists, surprisingly.
IndieGameRiot.com.
Yeah.
Any last...
You can also get one of these shirts.
You can do that too. Any last words, gentlemen?
Last thick neck.
Make sure to get your games into IRX, and if you have a panel idea, make sure to give that to us and sign up for that as well.
Dick Bullets. Say goodbye.
Yeah. See you next time, guys.
Oh God, it hurts when I pee.
Toodles.